cup of tea. How are you?
It's like you're trying to match my energy. You go,
I'm trying, but it's not getting there. Yes, it's been a busy few days for you
"Eh,
too, I think. Yes.
yeah, busy few days. I know. So much. I've been to like the festival of Tracy's birthday in October,
Yeah.
and I've been celebrating with various friends and groups of friends, and just maybe overdoing it a little.
Yes. I haven't even had that excuse. I just have like one day where it was rather long and I didn't even drink that much, but I'm like, oh my God, I
Yeah,
cannot.
I'm thinking early nights are required. A few early nights are required, I think. But we've been keeping an eye on the news. Anything else happening fun, exciting in your life?
Oh, really? I watched Beauty and the Beast. That was really cool.
Oh yeah, like
Musical
the musical.
Capital. So that was really nice.
How
I
did you
really
find
loved
it?
it. Look, it was almost word for word exactly like the animation, which was
Mm.
okay, but I don't know. I thought it would be a little bit, I don't know, something. But I found Aladdin to be a lot more like on steroids, as a musical. It was just so much more energy and whatever. I
Mm.
think there were just less people, and the musical numbers were all very like one or two people. I don't know. It was just a little muted, I think, but the sets were beautiful. Uh,
Mm.
People were like, clearly the actors did a really good job. So it was still very entertaining, but not on the level of, say, Aladdin or something like
I've never seen them. I've never been a massive fan of musicals, although would attend like with children, and because to me it's their reaction as well that's part of
that.
my
There were
entertainment.
so many cute little kids, like little girls dressed up in the full bell gowns and
Oh
stuff, and I
yeah,
was like, oh, that's adorable.
that would be really cute. So if anybody wants to donate their kids to me to go, but yeah, I wouldn't normally go to see
Yeah.
musicals much.
Miss Saigon is on.
Yeah, it
So,
looks good. I know a friend that went to see it said it was really good.
yeah, I don't know. I like the Lion King and I haven't seen the Lion King, but I hear it's very good.
Yeah, I haven't seen that. I know, hey, that's good.
But I
Maybe we need to see it when it comes.
definitely, I want to sit on one of those balcony bits, especially at the Capitol. They're so cute. They get booked out so quickly that I'm just like, I want to be there. You know.
Yeah, yeah.
But we had actually got really good seats, I must
Oh,
say.
that's good.
Right. So
It's
that
like highly sought after. I haven't actually been to the theatre in a very long time, actually.
I find it really expensive and it irritates me. Like these tickets, I think we were lucky we got for about 120, which wasn't bad. But like I was looking for Miss Saigon and there were most of the tickets 200, 250. I'm just
Okay.
like, it's very expensive.
Mm,
Um,
yeah.
so,
So
yeah,
that's fine. I can't imagine if you're taking your kids. But I'm just thinking if there's anything else I've done since I think the last time we spoke, we were going out for my birthday that day.
yes, that was fun.
That was fun.
I especially love the part where we were dancing and Tracy's
Oh,
recording.
yeah.
And then, of course, doesn't press record.
I can't believe I did that.
That
And
was
it was
hilarious.
real classics, just getting everybody up, dancing,
Yes.
recording the band, the cameras going
Yes.
around, the phone camera. And I realized at the end, when it was all over, that I haven't pressed record.
Yes, when she went to stop the video, it's like, oh shit.
Mm. Yes.
Oh, jeez.
Anyway,
Anyway,
I have my moments, don't I?
yeah, don't we
Mm,
all?
there we
Yeah.
are.
We had lunch at this really nice restaurant at Barangaroo, and it was a beautiful day and everything. We sat on the balcony, and then halfway through, we got so hot, we actually asked them to move inside. Oh my God, that was tragic. And the music was so loud, I almost felt like, oh, can I ask the DJ with the whole, the music is great, but could you turn it down? And then I'm like, what am I, 54-year-old?
When was this?
Just before the musical. So we went and had lunch at like 1, and then we went
Okay.
at 6:30. But
So 1 o'clock in the afternoon, the music's too loud.
the music is because we were like screaming at each other, when we're trying to talk. So
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, we've reached that age. So
Maybe just the wrong venue for your age.
Yes, exactly. But food was really good, and they were actually really nice, like the waiters and stuff. Anyway,
Funny. Okay. Is that a sign you're getting older then?
I guess so.
Mm.
Accepting it.
Accept,
Mm,
embrace the aging,
yes.
embrace it. Okay, so we've got a couple of stories we want to talk about. There's this kind of been, this one's been kind of going and on and on and on for a while. So it was the whole Luis Rubiales controversy at the Women's World Cup that's happened back in August. And this infamous, what do you call it? They're calling it, well, he's been facing charges of sexual assault for something that happened quite openly and publicly.
Very open.
Very open and very public. And then what's interesting is the two sides debating whether it is sexual assault. Is it consensual? Is it not consensual? And it just raises some quite interesting topics of discussion.
Yeah.
So if I read, let me just say we've just been following the story and like, should we talk about it? I was like, yeah, well, really, it is totally relevant. So, it's the kiss that shook Spanish and global football, which is a shame because it has been overshadowed by the scandal. Yeah. But then it also makes the conversation happen, which is good. And so it's all around Louis, the president of the country's football federation, who kissed the player, Jenny, on the lips. And he says it's consensual and she says it wasn't. And it was broadcast around the world. So, it's interesting what people think's consensual and what isn't.
Well, I found it interesting take some woman said. She said, most of the time when things like this happen in the workplace, it's all very one person's word against another. And women are usually told you have no evidence showing that, you were assaulted or whatever. But this was actually widely photographed. It's completely captured, and yet she's not believed when she says it wasn't consensual. She was trying to say it actually makes no difference, that, it's completely videoed and they're on evidence, but people still don't believe her. So
yeah. I know, it's quite interesting, isn't it? But apparently it's been a long time coming in Spain, because there seems to be some sort of culture of this inappropriate, I don't know, touching, sexual contact, I guess.
And I could just imagine the men going, oh, but we're Spanish, this is how we show affection.
Yeah, there is all of those things. So it's like this ongoing discussion, and I've heard people talking in the street, let's say word on the street. I've heard, a man, I was listening to a man saying how he felt it was really unfair what had happened. This guy's being unfairly accused, and genuinely believed that his actions were not wrong. So it just goes to show then what people understand as consensual.
Yeah, but I don't know why when it's sport, they think that it's appropriate to do these things. Because if you think about it, if you did this in a meeting where you just won a big contract or something, and your colleague was sitting there and you were all celebrating, if you leaned over and then kissed her on the lips to say, hey, isn't that great? I'm pretty sure that would not fly. So, and it happened to be the president of the company, like the star performer, right? And he did that in front of a room full of people. I'm pretty sure you'd be like, what the hell's going on, And yet, completely acceptable, because that's her workplace. So
yeah, exactly. And I think, I was trying to understand why people think that she consented.
Yeah.
I was like, well, what are they seeing? And I think, do you know what I think it is? I think it's because she didn't fight, or she didn't
Mm.
slap him or she didn't react.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is, because she didn't react in the moment.
Yeah.
She went along with it.
Yeah.
That's what you see. Because she didn't react in the moment, then it must be consensual. I think that's what people think.
Which is crazy because she knows, and most women are very aware of, what to be cautious when it comes to things like that, like reacting when people are invading your space, or a random person comes up to you and starts talking to you. Don't normally tell them to fuck off. Well, at least I don't. Some women do.
Mm.
I don't. Depends on how cautious you are, really.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm pretty sure she was aware that half the world was watching her at that point.
Yeah. I mean, I don't see anybody behaving any differently.
Yeah.
Don't see many people. I've been in so many situations where I've been a man has inappropriately touched me,
Yeah.
and I've sometimes been thinking, what, in my head, I'm like, is this really happening? Is
Yeah.
this? Do you think this is okay? This seems very casual and like innocent,
Yeah.
but it's inappropriate and it makes you
Yeah.
uncomfortable, and they shouldn't be doing it.
Actually, this happened to me. I think the second job I had, where my boss, the director of the unit, came over to give me a present, and I was just sitting at my desk, working, and he plopped the present really quickly on my desk, and then leaned over and kissed me, and I was like, "Oh, thank
Kissed
you."
you where? On the cheek or something?
On the cheek, but I just wasn't. It wasn't even on the lips, but I was.
Yeah.
I'm not, and as you know, I'm not an affectionate, like not like that. I don't even hug people generally.
No.
So, and
That was totally out of order.
like, because yeah, but I didn't react because I was sort of like, I don't know what happened. I was just sitting there, sort of like, oh, okay, and telling myself later that, oh, it's just him. He's just, it's just he's a really nice guy. It's just, he's older, and
Yeah.
that must be just the way he does things. I never rethought about it, but it was funny, the conversation that went on in my own head, that I was just like, oh, it's fine. It's just him.
We're trying to justify their behavior.
Yeah,
So we
exactly.
don't make a fuss.
Yes, exactly. Like, because I didn't even tell anyone, because I'm just like, what good would that do? So
Mm.
no.
And this is the problem. It happens all the time to women all the time.
Yeah.
And we kind of, probably a lot of us are having this justification in our heads, justifying their inappropriate behavior, not wanting to make a fuss.
Yes.
And react. And I've done it. I've done it lots. I'm sure many women have.
Mm.
But to really just call it out and say, it's just not appropriate. But for me, it's really interesting. And I really believe men think that that's okay, and they don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think they do it to prey on people. I think they just don't realize it's not appropriate. But I'd love to see, like, I don't know, that them to experience it the same way we do.
Yeah, but I don't think there is a situation, unless it was a man doing it to another man. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think they'd even get into that even mentality. And
Exactly.
for me, I think I would genuinely believe that of my boss when he did it, but I'm not sure about this guy, because he's in such a position of power and he has access to so many women. It's almost like that vibes where if he's willing and able to do that in front of millions of people, like, what is he doing in his personal time when he has access to these women and there aren't any cameras? Almost like, that's where my head goes. And I feel bad for her, like, having to deal with all of this now, because the pressure must be enormous. Like, they keep talking about how much pressure he's in, but yeah, like, I can't imagine it's easy for her.
Yeah. Well, she probably, like many of us, she probably wanted it to just disappear and not make a fuss.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then you have this whole thing of, like, everybody saying, no, 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 you need to do this for women. You need to, stand up, which I can understand, of course, from people who are calling it out. But it's hard for one woman to carry the whole thing.
Yeah, to carry that on her shoulder.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it says here that Spain's acting Labour Minister Yolanda Diaz, this is a BBC story, said male chauvinism was systemic in the country's sports institutions, and this was the worst form of it. And that's like, I guess that's what this idea that you can just touch women, and and the thing as well is he's probably not going to be doing that to men. That's the thing. It's like, would you behave exactly the same with another man in those situations? And he probably wouldn't.
No.
You know, there might be a hug.
Yeah.
But I doubt he's going to be kissing people. And I'm fairly sure I saw a slap on the backside as well in that clip, but nobody's talking about it, so maybe I made that up. That's your barometer, isn't it? Would you do exactly the same with men? And it's the same like in what you just described. If you were a male employee, would he give you a present and kiss you on the cheek?
Yeah, exactly.
Probably not. So that's why it's not okay.
And it's so weird that it has to be explained again and again and again before people are just like, oh, I kind of get it, you know? Yeah. Most of the time it's like, why are you destroying his career? It's like, nobody wants that. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Nobody get this man, this one particular man.
I guess what it is it gets to a point where it needs to be highlighted. And then actually in this, because there's so many women that don't say anything, and then women that do, they've no proof. And his word against her word, and it's become this. And every country, I don't think it's like a country specific thing.
No,
it's just obviously some countries are a lot worse than others. It's just become this thing where, oh, you know, they don't mean anything by it, and you just not to make a fuss.
Yeah.
And now someone's making a fuss because it needs to be highlighted.
Because to be honest, this is the only time people can make a fuss. Because when it is like just you and somebody else in the room and then gives you a kiss that's inappropriate or touches you inappropriately, you don't feel like you can do anything about it. So this, when it is captured live on whatever, is the only time you can point it out really and go, hey, what the hell, you know?
Yeah, it's not okay.
Yeah, exactly.
And I honestly think the reason that they think she consented is because she didn't do anything in the moment, like she didn't slap him, she didn't go, oh, you know, who would really?
Yeah, exactly. Like, we're not in a, what is it, Hollywood movie where she's like, oh my God, how dare you?
Dare you?
Exactly. Like, because I'm pretty sure if that happened, she'd be charged with assault or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
She really probably would. People would be like, how dare she, you know? So,
And I guess what we're hoping is a catalyst for change for people that think that's okay to wake up and realize it just isn't.
Yeah, exactly.
No matter what you've been used to. And the thing is, people copy people and what's acceptable. And it's like you need to remove the blinkers and to realize it's just not okay.
Yeah, exactly. And this whole thing, oh my God, it's such a PC world and whatever. It's like nobody's policing your behavior in that manner. If you're affectionate with your colleagues and whatever, but it's an understanding and it's consensual, then you're affectionate with your colleagues. It's fine, you know, if between the two, but you know, like when it's not consented to, it's not okay.
It's not okay. Exactly. Yeah. Anyway, so next story means
I'm glad he's resigned, to be honest.
Yeah, he's resigned now.
The first few weeks he was adamant he wasn't going to resign, which I thought was poor form, but I'm glad he's resigned. I'm sure he's going to be fine.
Of course he's,
you know, very worried about, you know.
He'd probably get enough money just to retire.
Anyway, yes, next story, which, you know, was interesting for me because I didn't realize how far India had come with all of this, but it's a BBC news story which reads, India row after LGBTQ couple marry in a Sikh temple, which was what caught my attention because I thought that would never happen. But the other thing that caught my attention was that it reads at the top, while India waits for the Supreme Court's verdict on legalizing same-sex marriage, an LGBTQ couple's recent wedding in the northern state of Punjab has made headlines and also created controversy. So, I mean, I didn't realize that it was in front of the Supreme Court, this whole, same-sex marriage. So I think that's awesome.
Oh, yeah. In India now.
Now, right, literally right now.
Oh, wow.
And in Punjab is quite a conservative state from what I hear. To be honest, most states in India are conservatives. I mean, no, I shouldn't say that. Like, I think Delhi and Mumbai and stuff are all very progressive, and a lot of the south is very easygoing, but maybe Punjab wouldn't be so easygoing. So the couple, Dimple, 27, who uses the pronoun he, and Manisha is 21, married in Bathinda city on 18th of September with blessings of their family, which was amazing to me as well. Something that's highly unusual in a conservative country like India. But what was even more unusual was their marriage was solemnized in the Gurudwara, which is a Sikh temple, with the bride and groom performing all the traditional rituals. The wedding has been criticized by religious leaders, including Sikhism's highest priest, I'm going to butcher this, so sorry, Ganani Ranbir Singh, who declares that same-sex marriage was unnatural and contrary to Sikh ethics. The marriage of two women in the presence of Guru Granth Sahib,
The priest.
That's the holy Sikh scripture.
Ah, okay, the holy Sikh scripture. Yeah.
Yes. Serves as a moral and religious, it's a violation of the scripture. But he's saying that the Bathinda Gurudwara committee, he asked them to suspend priest Haridev Singh, who conducted the marriage, and 3 others from their duty, because apparently it's happened a few times where they've married same-sex people. So Haridev Singh, I don't know why I find this so funny, but it's not. But Haridev Singh has been removed from his position, and in his defense, he said that he couldn't figure out that both the bride and the groom were female, as one of the women was wearing a turban, which, yeah. Dimple has questioned the claim because saying that they provided copies of their identity proof to the Gurudwara because they had to issue marriage licenses or whatever it was that they were doing. So they should have been aware because they had their papers. These guys met in a garment factory near the Punjab capital of Chandigarh, but the couple told that their Sikh wedding was attended by nearly 70 guests, like 70 relatives, which is nice. But it does go on to say, it's a little bit about how they met and they were friends and, and she helped him with his breakups. And then, he realized he loved her all along. But India decriminalized gay sex in 2018, but same-sex marriage still lacked an official recognition. The Supreme Court recently heard a slew of petitions seeking marriage equality, and judgment is due soon. So at the moment, the same-sex marriage is not legal in India, which means that Dimple and Manisha cannot access the same rights enjoyed by heterosexual married couples. But at the same time, experts say it's not considered a felony. But yeah, they're saying that the committee, the Sikh committee, the apex of the religion of Sikhism, they're investigating whether these violations are of violations of religious codes. So,
right, it's interesting, isn't it? So at the moment, then in India, they're currently reviewing the bill or whatever you call it to support same-sex marriage.
Yeah,
which to be legal in India, which is massive.
And to be honest, if it happens, I think that's really amazing because the ruling party in India is this very conservative, Hindu party, which has been in power for years now. So it'll be interesting to see if it passes. It will be amazing if it does. But I think they've been pushing for, more inclusion for a while now.
Yeah.
LGBTQ plus community. So let's hope it does.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, 2018 they only decriminalized gay sex, which is interesting because that wasn't very long ago.
No, it isn't at all.
So it would seem a massive jump from 2018 to 2023. Having same, I mean, maybe it's just been building anyway, but it just seems a big, you know, short gap, which would be great if it did. I hope that would be news for sure if that happened.
Yeah, I think so. But I think there's India is one of the youngest populations in the world, you know. So I think there's a lot of push for change from the younger generation, which is pretty good. And now they're the most populous country in the world. They've overtaken China.
Really?
Yeah, they have.
Wow.
Exactly.
That's newsworthy.
Yes, indeed. I mean, they've been the largest democracy in the world for a long time, but you know, they're just the largest population now.
Wow.
Yeah, I think India is one of the places that's not having issues with the birth rate like the rest of Asia is. Like China is like with Japan and Taiwan and things like that, where the birth rates are really falling. Australia, where the birth rates are really falling, but not so much.
Oh, okay, interesting. Oh, that's a really good story. Well, funny and not funny that you didn't know they were the same sex, but probably did. So,
but
yeah,
no,
that's progressive for India. We like to hear stuff like
and I like the fact that they were both from a rural country town, and it does say the story says that Manisha, I think, when the name's confused, but she talked to her family, and the family accepted that. At first they were like, no, you can't marry a girl, like it's not okay, but then she was like, no, this is for my happiness, and the family said okay, which was, you know, for me that's amazing.
That's amazing change in mindset and attitude.
Yeah, exactly, because you know we know it could go horribly wrong when those conversations, you know, happen sometimes. So
her family obviously love her very much.
Yes, exactly.
Or their families love them very much. To be so supportive of their choices. That's amazing. Wow. Wow. Thanks for sharing that story. It's a big deal for India.
Keep going, India.
Keep going, India. All right, let's move on to a what would you do. I have a what would you do, Meenal? Because this has happened and it's relevant to this first story we talked about.
Yes.
So what would you do? So I've met someone, not as just a friend, it's a man, and we've been going to a dance class, and he lives a couple of suburbs away. So he offered me a lift home, and we're chatting. He's quite old, a lot older than me. He's maybe in his 60s or 70s, like that's how much older. And we danced together. But I mean, I danced with lots of people in the same time, but danced with him as well. And he offers me a lift home, and that's all very lovely. And he's chatting away, and he leans over and he puts his hand on my leg. And then he takes it off and he's chatting, and it's just like very innocently. And then I notice there's a habit of doing it.
Yes.
And I know, of course you notice when somebody puts their hand on your leg.
Yeah, of course.
But I haven't said anything. I don't like it. It's not welcome. And no, who does that? Like, I'm not around people that are in the habit of just putting their hand on my leg.
Yeah.
You know, unless it was your partner.
Yeah.
So I'm just like, I've not said anything yet.
Yeah.
And but it comes back to this hit thing. It's really inappropriate. It's unwelcome. It's not okay. And yet, why haven't I said anything? But before I'll talk about that. But what would you do?
Oh, to be honest, you're asking the wrong person. I'm so non-confrontational that, you know, I have to be in like, I would be very strange because that's just how I am.
You just behave strangely.
I would behave strangely as opposed to saying something because I'm not used to it. Like really strange behavior. And people who know me then would probably ask what's going on. But if they don't know you so well, they probably wouldn't notice. Or would you be like, this person is strange? But yeah, I've been uncomfortable like that before and just gritted my teeth and just gone, okay, that's all right. It's just how it is or whatever. That's fine. It's just, like, and the weird thing is you just for me, I just tell myself it's not a big deal. You know,
tell yourself it's not a big deal.
Feel better, you know, that I didn't do anything about it, you know, because I'm just like, oh, it's not a big deal. It's fine, you know. Stop being so weird about it, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
That
And that's exactly what I did. Or have been doing. I've been saying to myself, it's not a big deal. Just I've been justifying his behavior, being like, he's older, he's probably been doing it for years, he thinks he doesn't mean anything by it. I'm justifying that he's making me uncomfortable, but it's okay.
Yeah, exactly. And to be honest, if it wasn't he's older, whatever, it would be like, oh, he's from a different culture, he doesn't quite understand that, this isn't normal for him, maybe it is normal, like the things that you tell yourself because you don't want to, and I think the other thing that is a deterrent, right? It would be different if you were able to say, hey, that just makes me uncomfortable. Can you just not do it? Right. And then they go, oh, okay, sorry, didn't realize, won't do it. If that was the conversation, I would be having it. I'd be like, yeah, sure, it's easy enough. But that will never be the conversation. It'll be, what do you mean? I don't mean to make you,
what are you accusing me of?
Exactly. So the conversation goes on and on and on. When you're just like, I really don't want to have like a discussion about it. I just want to tell you what my preference is and for us to in our lives,
Yeah.
So
yeah, I guess I've been thinking about it. So I think I will have to say that next time. I feel like I have to. I feel like I have to. I feel like it's a time in the world where you have to find the strength and courage to speak up in a resourceful way. And what your example was a resourceful way. And hope that they don't react in the worst possible way that we think they might, which kind of stops us from saying anything most of the time.
Yes.
I think I will just say, let's rehearse it. I'll rehearse it now with you.
Yeah.
So just innocently put his hand on my leg and it's like, hi, I've noticed that that's your thing and you seem very affectionate and you've done that a few times now. Did you notice where you just put your hand on my leg? See, because he might not even remember doing it.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes me a bit uncomfortable. So could you just not do that again? That would be really nice. Thank you. Or something like that. I'm just going to say that. I'm thinking
you're such a prude. What is wrong with you? Just a little touch between friends,
casually,
acquaintances.
Casually, touching me. No, that's not okay. Anyway, but it's good to talk about it because we do this whole justification. Oh, it doesn't mean it. It's not a big deal. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah. But it is a big deal because we allow it. When we allow it to happen, then it's kind of this consent thing. Because we allow it to happen, we're consenting, which is completely rubbish.
Yeah.
But then it escalates. Well, if that's appropriate, that's appropriate, and that's appropriate. And, we're getting, it's just not appropriate.
Yeah, definitely.
Anyway, there you go. So now we know what we do or what we have done, actually, because we've experienced it. And honestly, I'd be surprised to hear of any woman that hasn't.
Yeah, to be honest, I'd be surprised. Like, I think if you talk to any of your friends, and to be honest, girls are having these conversations all the time. We do. So men, if you're listening to this randomly, just ask the women around you and you'll be surprised, like, at how many little instances of these things that you had. So it's just annoying to have to put up with all the time.
It is. I remember my friend, our mutual friend, I won't say who it is because she might not want to talk about it, but telling me that in a professional work environment, a man who she didn't really know, but obviously was working with at the time, stood behind her and put his hand on her shoulders and was like, appropriate, inappropriate. And you noticed it, and she wouldn't have said anything.
Yeah, exactly.
Or she didn't. And they're saying that same person also put the hand on my leg.
Yeah.
And I didn't say anything because I was sitting there going, is this really happening?
Yeah.
And I was quite young then as well. It's in my 20s. But I guess I've got a new opportunity to say something. So I will let you know how that goes if it happens again, obviously.
Definitely.
Because I think there's no point in bringing it up if it's not just happened. I think it kind of needs to be kind of timely. in the
Yeah,
moment.
absolutely.
Mm.
Yeah. Oh, well, good luck with that.
Thanks. I'll let you know. Well, as always, it's been great talking to you, Meenal. Thank you.
It's been great chatting.
Great chatting. Thanks for the discussion, and I'll see you next time.
See you.
Bye.
Bye.